Hello students, this video is part 3 on motion in a plane. Students, these are the content in this video: position vector, resolution of vectors, direction cosines of a vector, subtraction of vectors. Students, we'll see what is position vector now. Position vector is a vector to represent any position of a body. Very important. Any position of a body. This is the purpose of using position vector. Okay, position vector is a vector to represent any position of a body. Then look at the diagram, students. We have a straight line from origin to point P, isn't it? So within this bracket P, I have written x comma y. So what is this x comma y? This point has the two coordinates. Okay, actually this is the plane, two-dimensional plane. So it has two coordinates x and y. Okay, then how we have to mention position vector r? Okay, r cap is equal to xi plus yj. This is j, students. Xi plus yj, where I and j are the unit vectors along x and y axis respectively. If suppose, imagine, there is another axis in this direction, z axis. If it is a three-dimensional motion, then how we have to mention position vector r? Very simple, students. Xi plus yj plus zk, where I, j and k are the unit vectors along x, y and z coordinates respectively. Okay, hope you understood this. And the last equation, look at this equation. Magnitude, modulus of r. Okay, so modulus of r is nothing but magnitude of this position vector. This is equal to x squared plus y squared plus z squared. Square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared. So this will gives you magnitude of this position vector. Now let us see another important topic in this lesson: resolution of vector. What is this resolution? Okay, look at this. It is a process of splitting a single vector into two or more vectors in different directions. It's called resolution of vector. So what do you understand from this? It is the process of splitting a single vector into two or more vectors in different directions, which together produce the same effect as it produced by the single vector alone. Okay, so the effect will not change, right? And what we are doing, we are going to split a single vector into two or more vectors in different directions. Very simple, students. Process of splitting a single vector into many vectors is called resolution of vectors. Now, look at the second point. The vector into which the single vector is separated are called component of vectors. Okay, from a single vector we are going to divide many vectors, isn't it? So this process is called resolution of vector. Then what do you mean by the divided vectors? Okay, so that divided vectors are called component of vectors. In fact, the resolution of vector is just opposite to composition of vectors. Okay, so what do you understand from this? Composition means joining the vectors, whereas resolution means dividing the vectors. Right. Then look at the third point. If the components of a given vector are perpendicular to each other, then they are called rectangular components. Very important. Okay. Is that clear? So what do you mean by resolution of vector? The process of splitting a single vector into two or more vectors, right? And that splitted vector are called component of vector. If the components of the given vector are perpendicular to each other, then they are called rectangular components. 3 points I said so far, right? Then look at the fourth point. If a vector A makes an angle theta with x-axis, then magnitude of its rectangular components in xy plane are given by a suffix x, a suffix y. So these are the rectangular components. So what we are doing, we are going to divide a vector A into two components. One is ax, another is ay. Okay, we are going to divide this vector into two components, ax and ay. Ax along x-axis, ay along y-axis. Okay, then look at the diagram now. Right, so this is your vector A from origin to a particular point. Right, let it be P. So this vector is A. I have given with bold letters, isn't it? So this is the representation of a vector. So this vector A, we are going to divide into two components, ax and ay. Okay, along y direction. This is ay. So what is ax? A cos theta. And ay is a sin theta. Right? So these are the rectangular component. Both are perpendicular to each other, as I told you in point number 3. Okay, right. So ax equal to a cos theta, ay equal to a sin theta. Then what is the magnitude? A is equal to square root of ax squared plus ay squared. So this is your magnitude of the given vector A. Okay. So imagine if you have a 3 components. So this vector, if you divide into 3 component, so what is the third component? A suffix z. Right? So we'll see in the next slide. Students, now we are going to see resolution of vector in 3 dimensions. Consider a vector A lie in free space. What is this free space? It has 3 coordinates, x, y and z coordinates, and subtends an angle alpha with x-axis. Look at the diagram, students. See, this is your origin, from origin to point P. Imagine this is your point P. Okay, and from origin to point P, it has the vector A. Okay, and this A vector gives an angle alpha. This is your AX. Okay, so what is the angle between A and AX? Alpha. And angle B with y-axis, angle beta with y-axis, and angle gamma with z-axis. I have given in the diagram. Just refer your diagram. So I repeat, vector A lie in free space and subtends an angle alpha with x-axis, angle beta with y-axis. This is your y-axis coordinate. Okay, AY. And this is your AZ in z-axis. Okay, beta with y-axis and gamma with z-axis. And then the magnitudes of its rectangular components. What is rectangular component? As I told you in previous slide, the component which are perpendicular to each other are called rectangular components. So what is resolution? Splitting of vector into more vectors. Okay, hope you understood this. Right, so magnitude of its rectangular components along the 3 axes are given as, so what is AX? A cos alpha, AY, A cos beta, AZ, A cos gamma. So these are your resolutions. Okay, these are the components, rectangular component of a given vector A. Okay, so we are going to divide this A into 3 components, AX along x-axis, AY along y-axis and AZ along z-axis. Okay, right? So what we are doing, we are dividing a vector A into 3 components. So what is AX? A cos alpha, AY, A cos beta, and what is AZ? AZ equal to A cos gamma. Right? And what is the magnitude, students? A is equal to square root of ax squared plus ay squared plus az squared. So this is called magnitude. Okay. Then look at the next point. A vector or A over vector symbol I have given may be expressed in terms of its rectangular components as A vector equal to Ax I cap plus Ay j cap plus Az k cap. Okay, so this is a format of resolution of a given vector A. Okay, right, where I, j and k cap are the unit vectors along x, y and z axis respectively. So what we are doing? We are dividing a vector into three components, right? So this we saw in this slide, and look at this. So this is nothing but direction of a given vector. For example, if you have a two components ax and ay. So what is the direction of a given vector A? So direction, how we will find? Theta equal to tan inverse of. So what is tan theta? So you have to find, imagine this is your triangle. So this is your theta. Okay, so what is tan theta? Opposite by adjacent, isn't it? So what is opposite side? AY. Adjacent side is AX. So theta equal to tan inverse of AY divided by AX. So this is how we have to find a direction of a given vector. Friends, now we'll see direction cosines of a vector. So as we saw in the previous slide, how we divided vector A into three rectangular components. Okay, so that is nothing but resolution of a vector, isn't it? So in the same manner, we are going to divide vector A into three components. Okay, this is called resolution of a space vector. Okay, and look at here. If any vector A subtend angles alpha, beta and gamma with x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively, and its components, what are all the components? Ax, Ay and Az, isn't it? So this all the three components are along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So what is the component here? Look at the diagram. Along x-axis you have Ax, along y-axis you have Ay, and along z-axis you have Az. So these three are the components of a given vector A, or rectangular component of a given vector A, right? And now then cos alpha. So what we saw? Ax equal to A cos alpha. Do you remember? And similarly Ay equal to A cos beta, and cos gamma. Okay, in terms of gamma, what is that? Az, third component Az is equal to A cos gamma. So this we saw in the previous slide itself. So now we are going to take a square root. So we are going to rearrange this formula. Cos alpha equal to Ax by A, and cos beta Ay by A, cos gamma Az by A. Okay, right. Now take a square root and add all the angles. So cos squared alpha plus cos squared beta plus cos squared gamma. So how this one came? So we'll see now. So this is your right hand part, RHS. Now we'll see left hand side. So what is there in the left hand side? Ax by A. What is this A, students? So this A is nothing but square root of Ax squared plus Ay squared plus Az squared. Okay, right. Now, so Ax squared by A plus, so this whole square root, isn't it? And similarly Ay by A the whole squared plus Az divided by A the whole square. So this is your left hand part, left hand side. Now look at the denominator, all are equal. So a squared. In the numerator we have ax squared plus ay squared plus az squared. So what is this ax squared plus ay squared plus az squared? So this is nothing but a squared, isn't it? So look at this relationship. So what we studied, a equal to square root of ax squared plus ay squared plus az squared. Now a squared, we can write it in another manner. A squared is equal to ax squared plus ay squared plus az squared. So based on this relationship, I am replacing ax squared plus ay squared plus az squared as a squared. So in denominator also you have a squared. So both will get cancelled. So in the left hand side you have 1. Okay. So what we came to the conclusion, cos squared alpha plus cos squared beta plus cos squared gamma equal to 1. So this means sum of the squares of the direction cosines of a vector is always unity. I repeat, sum of the squares of the direction cosines of a vector is always unity. Students, we have already studied about addition of vectors. Do you remember? So what are all the types of addition of vectors? We saw 3 graphical methods. Do you remember? So one is triangle law of addition. Second, parallelogram law of addition. Third, polygon law of addition. So these 3 methods we saw in the case of addition of vectors. Now we'll see subtraction of vectors. Okay, so what is subtraction? Subtraction of a vector b. Look at the first point. Subtraction of vector b from vector a is defined as addition of vector minus b, that is negative of vector b, okay, to a vector a. So I repeat, subtraction of a vector b from vector a is defined as the addition of vector minus b, that is negative of vector b to vector a. So how we can write? So a minus b is equal to a plus minus b. Okay, so from this relationship you will get subtraction of 2 vectors. So look at the diagram, students. So this is your a vector and b vector. What will be the result? As per your triangle law of addition, you will get a plus b. Okay, the third side of the triangle is combination of the 2 sides, isn't it? Do you remember? So a plus b you will get. But now look at here, both the arrow marks in opposite directions. Okay, so here you will get a minus b, right? So what is subtraction of vectors? Subtraction of vector b from vector a is defined as addition of vector minus b to vector a. Students, now we'll see properties of subtraction of vectors. So first property is subtraction of vectors does not follow commutative law. That is, a minus b is not equal to b minus a. And second property, it does not follow associative law. That is, a minus b minus c is not equal to a minus b minus c. And third property is, it follows distributive law. That is, n, that is something numerical, okay, constant value. N into a minus b is equal to na minus nb. So students, subtraction of vector does not follow commutative law and associative law, but it follows distributive law. Now we'll see subtraction of vector by analytical method. Okay, there are 2 vectors a and b at an angle theta. Look at the diagram, students. There are 2 vectors a and b at an angle theta. If we have to subtract vector b from vector a, what we will do? We will first invert the vector b. Okay, so invert in the sense negative vector of b, that is minus b, and then add with vector A. Very simple. So this is a process of subtracting two vectors, right? So imagine that we have two vectors A and B with an angle theta, right? So first we are going to invert this vector. Invert in the sense negative vector of B. Okay, so this is your negative vector minus B in the opposite of your plus B. Okay, now we are going to add vector A and vector B, right? So what is the resultant vector, students? Simple, R equal to A minus B. Okay, and this angle between A and B is theta. Then what is the remaining angle, students? So total angle is pi. So the remaining angle will be pi minus theta. Okay, and we'll see the resultant vector R. R equal to, as I told you, A plus within the bracket minus B, that is negative of B, negative vector of B. Okay, so you will get A minus B as your resultant. Then what is the magnitude of this vectors? R equal to square root of A squared plus B squared. This is plus A squared plus B squared plus 2AB cos pi minus theta. The remaining angle is pi minus theta, isn't it? Then what is cos pi minus theta? Yes, it is minus theta. Okay, so A squared plus B squared within the square bracket R equal to square root of A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos theta, where theta is the angle between vector A and vector B. Then what about the magnitude, students? So the similar case of your addition of vector, I have explained three cases, isn't it? So we'll see the cases now. If theta equal to 0 degree, what will be the resultant magnitude? R is equal to A minus B. If you substitute theta value as 0, the resultant value will be A minus B. So here you will get a minimum magnitude, students. Okay, so this is your first case. And we'll see the second case, theta equal to 90 degree. If you substitute theta value as 90 in the resultant equation, so where you will get R equal to square root of A squared plus B squared. Similarly, if you substitute theta equal to 180 degree, okay, then what will be the resultant? Resultant equal to A plus B. So in third condition, you will get a maximum magnitude. Okay, so it is just an inverse of your addition of vectors. Just go through, if you have any doubts, you just go through the previous video where I have solved addition of vector by using analytical method. Okay, so this is your three cases. If theta equal to 0 degree, then the resultant magnitude will be A minus B. Second case, if theta equal to 90 degree, resultant will be square root of A squared plus B squared. And third case, theta equal to 180 degree, then R equal to A plus B. So in the third case, you will get maximum resultant magnitude. Students, in this video, we have discussed about what is position vector and resolution of vector. What is resolution? Splitting of vector into two or more components. Okay, so that is called resolution of vector. We saw in two-dimensional case as well as in three-dimension how the resolution will be. And then we solved what is direction cosine of a vector. Okay, so what we saw, direction cosine of a vector. Sum of squares of the direction cosine of a vector is always unity. This we saw under this topic. And fourth topic, what we saw, subtraction of vectors. So in subtraction of vector, we saw graphical method as well as the analytical method, and we saw the properties of subtraction of vectors also. So kindly go through all the videos again and again and go through your e-books for your better understanding, students. Thank you.